Hey, thanks for listening to the Emlyn in the Mix podcast. Here you will find all the latest in music technology, software and hardware, interviews and more. Also, don't forget to check out the Emlyn in the Mix YouTube channel today. Now, let's get into the podcast.
I used to think of my life as a rap star. I used to think of my life as a trap star. Record on the beat, put it on the needle. Record on the beat, put it on the needle.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Emlyn in the Mix podcast, season 3, episode 45. Thank you so much for joining me. We are definitely in cyber season right now, and this podcast is full of lots of savings, goodies, and even a free plugin. And of course, our friends at Teenage Engineering delighting us once again with our main features today. We're going to be talking about that later on in the podcast. But before we do, let's get stuck into all of the great news happening in the world of music technology. Yes, what is this podcast about? If you are new, it is of course about music gear, music technology, software and hardware. We cover it all here on the podcast. And for those of you who are regular listeners, thank you so much for joining me. Support link down below. You can shout me a coffee. Got my trusty coffee here for you. And let's just have fun today because there is some cool topics to talk about, some awesome plugins to look at, and as always, music technology is great. That is why you're here. I hope you've had a great week creating in the studio, whatever you've been doing out there. But without further ado, let's just get stuck into today's podcast and let's have some fun, hey? And let's show you some amazing cyber deals that have already gotten underway. And we know it's going to be like this for the next couple or at least several weeks. So the first one here comes to us from Baby Audio. Full disclosure, affiliate link down below for Baby Audio. If you want to get any of these deals, then click the link below. Do yourself a favor, get a deal, and also support your boy out here. Baby Audio is doing a Black Friday sale, which has already started. I know it's not Black Friday yet, but it is cyber season. If you listen to this podcast in the future, then of course you haven't missed out on the deals, as long as it's not more than 3 or 4 weeks from now. But anyway, Baby Audio, you can buy the whole bundle at the moment with 25% off. That is amazing. The whole bundle of the 8 suite of their amazing award-winning plugins like Crystalline, Smooth Operator, iHoney 2. It's all in here. It's only $149. It's pretty damn good. Or if you didn't want to buy the whole bundle, you can buy individual plugins and get savings of up to 51%. For example, Crystalline is only $49. Now, if you haven't checked out Crystalline, you've got to check out. I did a video on it the other day, and well, not the other day, sorry, quite a while ago now, this year at least. And for $49 for that plugin, that is an absolute steal for what it can do. It's very impressive indeed. Go check it out. Hashtag Emlyn in the Mix. Subscribe. Boom. The other one that's really cool is Tape. I love Tape and Spaced Out. Spaced Out's amazing. They fixed it. At first it was a little bit of a CPU hog, but they actually fixed it. Spaced Out's a lush ambience generator, and you can get that for $39. And it's really cool. It's got several features. It's got like your delay and your reverb, and you can combine it together. I also did a video on Spaced Out as well, and it is really a really impressive plugin. When it comes to innovation, Baby Audio is right up there with their creative effects. I really love. In fact, there's not a track that I work on now that doesn't have the Super VHS, which is one of their earlier plugins that has that magic button on it. It's just so good with the drift, heat, wash. Anyway, amazing stuff. I also posted on my Instagram just the other day my video I did on Parallel Aggressor. I think I've nearly done a video on all of Baby Audio's plugins. Parallel Aggressor's only $29. Anyway, craziness in terms of deals. If you haven't checked out Baby Audio, fantastic boutique plugin company, and you should check it out. They make some amazing creative effects plugins, and if they win, like if it comes to the end of the year, they win in a creative effects plugin of the year award, it wouldn't surprise me. I think it was last year even they won plugin of the year or something. I should know this. I can't actually remember off the top of my head, but they are just an incredible company and definitely awesome to work with. Affiliate link down below. Again, click the link, check out the deals, at least check them out. You can trial some of these plugins if you haven't already at no cost, and they're just awesome. All right, let's move on to our next cyber season deal here. This one comes to us from UVI. These are our friends, no stranger to the podcast. This is actually iOS apps are up to 50% off at the moment. So if you enjoy or you've been looking at UVI's iOS apps, you can get 50% off. Ravencroft 275 piano. Experience the splendor of Ravencroft Model 275, the most realistic sounding virtual piano right on your iPad. How good is that? Now, I know this is not going to appeal to everyone, and sorry to my Android listeners out there, but iOS apps here at 50% off is a good deal for those of you who do have iOS or you're running iOS, your iPad in the background. Spark Verb here, cutting edge algorithmic reverb delivers stunning sound and ease of use, providing both extreme versatility and a light CPU footprint. And this is 50% off here as well on the iPad. I mean, that must be freaking amazing. I'd love to check that out. And then the other one here is the Beat Hawk, which is a complete portable music production studio packed with high quality UVI sounds, instruments, and effects. Now, you know that it being UVI, it's going to be high quality. It's going to be amazing. It's just going to be incredible. And UVI is a lot of fun. Head over to their website. They got free games on their website, for crying out loud. I mean, what more could you want? 50% off. Check out the deals. If you have the iOS, you can head over to the App Store right now to get that. Now, this next one is not really part of the Cyber Season Black Friday deal. I just wanted to quickly slip this one in because we followed the story on Spark, which is the subscription service that is being offered by Universal Audio. And they've just sneakily, in my opinion, because I didn't know that, they've sneakily added some little goodies, some little extras to their Spark subscription service. And this, you know, when things get added to a subscription service, it makes them more desirable. It makes them more tantalizing. You want to go out there and you want to try their subscription service. And UAD have gone in the back end here and they've added a couple of new products. I wanted to quickly show you. So one of the new ones here, we're not going to go over all the products, of course, because we've spoken about Spark and the subscription service before. Now, you can do this free for 14 days, and I'm thinking about retrialing it free for 14 days. I haven't actually delved in and got Spark yet. I should get it because I do use a lot of the Universal Audio plugins. In fact, my smooth vocal tone, I've done this so many times, my smooth vocal tones are coming through Universal Audio's rich and analog emulation of the Neve 1073 channel strip. Anyway, check this out. Brand new to the subscription service Spark, that is Hitsville Reverb Chamber. I love the GUI graphics on this, by the way. They've just got like the actual picture, I guess, of that chamber where they were collecting the sound of reverb. Anyway, used by the producers of The Supremes, Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, and more. Unlock the magic above Motown's studios. Have a quick listen here. We've got a demo of this reverb.
People say I'm the life of the party.
That's with it on. Off.
I tell a joke or two. Although I might be
Back on.
laughing loud and hearty, deep inside I'm blue. So take a good look at my face. You'll see my smile looks out of place.
All right, drums. I'm turning it on and off. You can obviously hear when it's on. Anyway, that's the Motown Hitsville Reverb Chamber. Sounds really good, really authentic. I mean, that's what Universal Audio do. The emulations are none bar the better. I don't even know what I'm saying there. Anyway, let's move along here and just show you a couple of new ones. This one is a sneaky little smelly smacks. I don't know what I was going to say there. It's called Polymax, not smelly max. Jesus. UAD instruments, great instruments inspire great music. UAD's expertise in modeling, sampling, and synthesizers gives out virtual instruments the realism to inspire your next masterpiece. Now, this Polymax is new. It's a new create the future with retro analog synth sounds to shock your mind and brain. Let's have a quick listen. This is new as part of UAD Spark. Oh yeah. how good is it? Sounds so good. Oh yeah. Actually, I'm sold. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get this 14-day free trial. UAD Spark, part of their subscription service. That is the Polymax brand new synth there. Sneakily slipped in the back end of the UAD Spark subscription service. I think they're the only two new products. I just want to mention it here on the podcast. Maybe worth having a look at again. These plugins run natively. You don't need the UAD hardware such as the Apollo or any of their audio interfaces to actually run these. They run natively, and it's an evolving collection, as you can see, and they definitely have evolved that subscription service, making it look and feel like a better subscription service. I mean, you know, if you're adding something to a subscription service, it adds value and so forth. All right, let's move along to our next, back to cyber season. And you know, we're not going to skip Native Instruments, the big boys in town. I mean, they have their big cyber season deal started as well. And you can save up to 75% off now. Full disclosure again, affiliate link down below. Yes, I know that the podcast might seem a bit like this time of year, it might seem like I'm just shoving deals down your throat. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give you guys the opportunity, okay? You don't have to obviously click everything and get something, but I'm giving you guys the opportunity to see where the deals are, where you can have the most effective result and payback for yourself in the studio in terms of the best instruments and that sort of thing. And it's always like this time of year. I know there's all sorts of, hey, look here, you know, get this, do that, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just trying to show you the best things in my opinion. And I know I've got affiliate links with Baby Audio and Native Instruments, but they are honestly, I wouldn't support them if I didn't think they were amazing and use them myself, which I do. Now, Native Instruments has 50% off their complete instruments, which is great, which includes like Playbox, Prime Bass, which is new and sounds really good, by the way. I don't know if we did a video on it. I don't think we did, and we should probably do that. And you've also got the complete effects is up to 50% off. They have some great effects in there as well if you need those. Expansions could be something you're looking for, and they're 50% off. Like, that's really cool. If you need more expansions or you're looking at getting some of those new expansions, they're 50% off. We haven't seen Native Instruments drop a new expansion for a little bit now, but they were very busy this year, dropping almost one every week at one point. Maybe not one every week, but it was definitely quite a few dropped this year. Guitar Rig Pro 6 is 50% off, which is crazy. And 75% off the iZotope products, because as we know, Native Instruments and iZotope now collaborated as a sister company, and they work together. 75% off iZotope is really good. We spoke about their cyber season deals last week. Traktor Pro 3 also, if you want to get into DJing, Traktor Pro 3 is a great place to start. Very easy and intuitive to use as DJ software, and it is 50% off. Link for all these deals down below. Click that link if you want to get any of these deals. Again, you're not losing anything by clicking that link down below, getting yourself a deal and supporting the channel and the podcast. If you love this podcast, it's a great way to support this podcast. Keep it going into 2023, which will be season 4, unbelievably. All right, next, we love a free plugin. You're sick of hearing about deals. You just want free stuff. Well, I've got your back. And this plugin is one that shouldn't be overlooked, actually. I downloaded this. I was skeptical. I was like, what is this? How is this going to benefit me? And in fact, it is one of the most useful tools I've downloaded this year, and it is free right now. I don't think it lasts free for long. Where is the date? Yeah, so you've got until November 22. So hopefully you hear this podcast before then. But Audiolens, by iZotope is a free plugin right now at the moment until November 22, 2022. And it simply, all it does is it listens to incoming audio and then it creates a reference for that audio. So say you want to mix your song to a certain sound, like say there's a track that you love and you're like, I want my song to sound as good as that in terms of frequency and mixing. This will actually create an image. It'll listen to the song and any input, you can play it off whatever, and it will listen to the incoming audio, create the reference that you can see, which is the best part. You can actually see. That's why it's called Audiolens. And then you can go to your track, add an Audiolens to that and match to your reference track. That's what a reference track is. You're trying to match and get the same sound. Well, I just think visually this makes it very easy to see the frequency response of your song. And it was really interesting because I actually did a little test on my songs, which were unfinished, which is kind of not very fair against some polished, finished songs. But it was good because that's the way you want to work. And I could see that the professional tracks were much more evenly spread on the frequency spectrum in comparison to my songs. Anyway, Audiolens, it's free. Go check it out. Just head over to iZotope.com and get yourself the free plugin of Audiolens. It's very, very useful indeed. All right, next, Autotune. Antares Tech dropped Autotune Pro X this last week. What is it? It is Autotune, industry standard. You want to sound like T-Pain. You want to sound like, I don't know who else. I can't even think about those sort of artists right now. Who's a popular one? Who knows? I was going to say Kanye West, but does Kanye West use Autotune? Perhaps. He is a controversial figure of late, isn't he? Anyway, we love having a bit of controversy, zeitgeisty sort of things here on the podcast. But anyway, Autotune Pro X is here, the professional standard for pitch correction. So what does it bring? What is new? Well, I looked at this and I was like, I don't really know. Like, it looks nicer. They've added Apple Silicon support. I feel like maybe this is just a cash grab, but anyway, Autotune Pro X is the most advanced Autotune edition ever. It includes a redesigned graph mode for detailed pitch and time editing, auto mode for real-time correction and effects, and runs natively on Apple Silicon. So to me, the only new thing that I can see, other than the GUI being updated, is that it runs on Apple Silicon. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's really fluid. Maybe it's amazing. Anyway, let's let Antares Tech do the talking, because I'm gonna have a rest here. What do they say about it? Here we go. For some reason, this video starts in the middle.
That's now.
There we go.
Introducing.
Let's go back to the top. Here we go.
It changed music forever and set the stage for today's sound. Tomorrow's sound starts now. Introducing Autotune Pro X. Reimagined to work faster, push boundaries, and create the future sound of music. Featuring a redesigned graph mode for extremely precise pitch correction, native support for Apple Silicon for faster, more fluid editing, and exclusive artist presets to inspire your creativity. The industry standard for vocal production just got better. Autotune Pro X, the future of vocals.
Yeah, I don't really know. It just, Apple Silicon, new GUI, great. But good on them. Getting an update is always great. I just don't know why they called it Autotune Pro X. Maybe they should just call it Autotune and it was an update. I don't know. Antares, they already rule the world in the world of Autotune. Maybe it's worth checking out. It's a brand new plugin. I wanted to show it here on the podcast, but that's what I do here. I don't always just love everything we show on the podcast here. I love that we are embracing, and it's been more than a year now since the our M1 chip's been around way more than a year, or 2 years. No, it's over a year that we've had Apple Silicon in our lives. So it's good to see these companies embracing, but do we need to? It's just an update in my opinion. I don't know if we need to call it a pro, but maybe it is. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is just totally futuristic and new for those who use Autotune. Check it out, Autotune X Pro. All right, let's move along to our next piece of news here. Boss, also a very prolific contributor in 2022. In fact, we're getting to the end of 2022 now, and it's been an amazing year. And I think the last couple of podcasts, I might just sort of do like a roundup for the year, and we might just look at everything we've looked at this year, because it's been busy and it's been very interesting in a post-pandemic world in terms of products being released. But Boss has not been shy on the release of their products. And this one looks pretty interesting. This is a new one here. Just dropped this last week. And it is a creative wireless foot control for digital music scores, YouTubers, DAWs, instruments, and beyond. Or just says YouTube, sorry. Ultra compact and fully customizable, the FS1WL is an essential hands-free partner for all your creative needs. Control digital music score apps, YouTube videos, DAWs, and support Boss and Roland gear wirelessly over Bluetooth, or connect a MIDI cable to operate multi-effects processors, pedals, and other hardware. Expand your setup with external foot switches and an expression pedal, and use the dedicated editor library to assign keyboard commands and MIDI measures to control nearly any software application or MIDI device. Essentially, it just makes it so, how busy are you in the studio that you can't use your hands? If you're a guitarist, I could totally understand. And I could sort of see some usefulness for myself maybe when I'm recording these podcasts, if I just want to switch my camera angle or something like that, because you can assign the pedal to anything by the sound of it, and it's running over Bluetooth. But I know Bluetooth is pretty reliable, but there are times when Bluetooth isn't so reliable, depending on the manufacturer, of course, unless this is a very stable, and being that it's Roland on the back end, Boss and Roland are essentially the same company. I'm sure it's pretty good, but yeah, it looks great. It's a foot switch nonetheless, nothing too exciting, doesn't generate any sound or effects or anything like that, but as a foot controller, it could be good, it could be useful. So yeah, YouTube learning. Take advantage of YouTube keyboard commands to learn faster with online lesson content. So I guess if you're watching a video on YouTube and you want to skip this part of the video without taking your hands off your guitar, that could be good. DAW control. Stay focused on capturing great performances with hands-free control of music recording software. I like the idea of that. In that, if you're noodling something on the keyboard and you don't want to reach over and click a mouse to hit record, you could just do it with your foot. That's cool. That's cool in my opinion. Could you understand that? I think you could. That could make life easier. Now, in terms of price, I don't really know. I don't have a price here up here in our thingy, but I'm sure it's hopefully not too much. Being that it's Boss, it shouldn't be too expensive. Let's just hear a little bit back from Boss themselves. Here we go.
This is the Boss FS1WL. It's a Bluetooth multifunction foot switch. It's ideal for countless applications, such as controlling a page turner app, controlling YouTube, and software hands-free. You can connect it to electronic instruments, computers, smartphones, and many other electronic devices. You may recognize the Boss brand. Boss have been making guitar pedals since the 1970s and are considered the most robust and reliable in the business, so you're in safe hands. The FS1WL is compact and discreet, and very importantly, non-slip and silent in use. The buttons are nice and firm underfoot, with a solid and reliable feel. 2 AAA batteries last approximately 14 hours with a 1-hour warning time. Or you can use a Boss PSA AC adapter to power it. The operation for each button is fully customizable. You can even change the LED color for each individual button via the free, easy-to-use app.
All right, I think we get the idea, but look, that sounds pretty cool. It sounds like a useful, something you could use in the studio. Is it for you? I don't know. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. All right, another cool product that came out this last week. You may have heard of this. It's been all over the internet. I don't know what is going on with Eventide, but they have got their fingers stretched out in just about every YouTuber's video somehow, or every music YouTuber. They've somehow given them a H90, what appeared to be, it probably wasn't, but I just saw so many videos on this. I didn't make it our main feature because I don't have one here. Emlyn in the Mix doesn't have connections with Eventide, so they're not going to be our main feature, but I did want to talk about it because it was a pretty big release in terms of music hardware this last week. Is it for you? Is it something you need? I don't know. That's another story. Eventide are pretty well renowned for their effects processors, in particular the H9000, which is their current premium beast of an effects processor, rack-mounted effects processor. That's apparently in every major studio in the world, from what I've heard. This sort of, from coming from an outside perspective, because again, I'm not in with the Eventide guys. It's kind of like the Electron hardware as well. I'm not in with them and Roland and no, I'm being silly. But anyway, Eventide, the H90. It looks cool to me. Again, come from an outside, it looks like a cut down version of their Mega one, and it's a foot pedal as well. Now, I'm not a guitarist, but I feel like this would be, as a guitarist and having it as a foot pedal, I feel like it'd be difficult to sort of get through the presets. It looks more like something for a studio musician, which is interesting, perks my interest a little bit more, being that I'm not a guitarist, because it looks more fiddly in terms of getting to the effects you need. Now, some of the comments I did see online about this is that people felt it's too overpriced for what it is. Is it though? I don't know, and I cannot answer that for you. It's $700 USD. Whether that's overpriced or not, I would need to check the specs and see how much this thing actually has to offer. If it offers something above and beyond what I can already do in my computer, for example, then yes, it'll be worth it. And if you're using external instruments like guitars and synthesizers, for example, or even vocals, and this is enhancing that somewhat, then yes, I would say it's worth it. But how much it does that, then if it doesn't do a lot, then it's not worth it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, again, like this is the part I don't understand. I'm going to just talk about this. I'm going to sit on this for a little bit, because if you're a guitarist, right, and you've got this on the ground as a foot pedal, how on earth, I know it's got the OLED screen, which is cool. This is a worthy additional update, because they did have one of these H9, I think was the earlier model of this pedal. It's great. They've updated the OLED screen and so forth, and you got all the features here, but how on earth, if you're playing guitar live, how do you change your presets like this? It must be maybe one of the A or B functions down here, because P is activate or active. I guess if P is not on program, then it bypasses. But yeah, I'm guessing maybe A or B, you can go up and down your presets here. So maybe you use your hand to select, get into the bank you want. Anyway, again, I'm not, not in with the cool guys on this, but the H90 harmonizer beyond the effects horizon, what is it? The H90 harmonizer features modern ARM-based architecture derived from the world's most powerful effects processor. See, I was right. I know my stuff. Eventide's flagship H9000 harmonizer. This paves the way for the ongoing creation of more advanced effects processing techniques. And as a result, the pedal not only offers the iconic reverbs, delays, modulations, and pitch shifting effects of the H9 Max, but goes far beyond with 10 new powerful algorithms, including state-of-the-art fast tracking and warble-free polyphonic pitch shifting. Eventide's proprietary SIFT, which is special instantaneous frequency tracking technology, clears the road ahead for next-gen effects, both long imagined and unimaginable. So here are some of the effects you get with the H90 harmonizer. You get polyphony, you get prism shift, even vibe, headspace, bokeh delay, wormhole, weed whacker, SP2016 reverb, instant phaser, and instant flanger. Let's have a listen to some here, shall we? Let's listen to polyphony. Here we go. So here we got pitch shift chords with easy use SIFT technology, create rising or sinking chorus and crystal type effects. Use freeze to generate pad textures. All right, so this is polyphony. Here we go. Let's listen to Prism Shift. Nice. Let's listen to Headspace. I'm just going to go through some quickly here. That's nice. like that one. And I'm just curious, what is Weed Whacker? Let's have a listen to this. Alright, it does say it here, 2-stage serial overdrive, reminiscent of a famous green pedal. Let's do one more, because these sound pretty good. SP 2016 Reverb. Chill. There you go, guys. I mean, this is the new H90 harmonizer, released this last week. I don't know. Is it worth the $700 price tag? I know that prices have been controversial this last year, especially with inflation, everything that's happening in the world right now. But it does look, I have to say, aesthetically, it's very pleasing. It looks very well laid out, and I'll give it that. Aesthetically, it looks like a very nice pedal. Is it for you? Is it worth it? That's another question. All right, here we are, our main feature today. This is bonkers. But actually, I have to say, before we get stuck into talking about this, and this is how we're going to end the podcast today, because my goodness, I had to. This is just too much. This was almost just going to be like a little story on the side, but then I was like, nah, we've got to talk about this, because actually, I think this is much bigger than what it initially looks like. So when you see this, okay, this comes to us from Teenage Engineering. Yes, they're no stranger to the weirdness and surprising us this year with the odd things that they've released. I don't know if I'm the only channel that talks about Teenage Engineering. I highly doubt that I am. And I know that Teenage Engineering has a huge fan base and has many fanboys and fangirls who absolutely adore and love what they do. And maybe I'm one of them, because I just seem to love what Teenage Engineering does. And I know that they've had a lot of controversial topics this last year in particular, especially with the release of that tiny matchbox size mixer, which is an incredible piece of technology, by the way, but costs an arm and a leg. And of course the OP1 Field, which as well as an incredible piece of technology and costs an arm and a leg. Well, guess what, guys? We've got some very interesting instruments here in the form of wooden shaped dolls, which are also, you're going to probably complain about the price, because they are not cheap either. But I have to say, when I first saw this, I was like, oh my God, what is this? Like, I can't imagine this sounds good, but I actually like the sound that these things produce. Now, call me weird, call me wrong. Maybe some of you out there don't like it, but I love the sound that these things produce. And I enjoy the idea of getting all of these, collecting all of them and spreading them around the room, and then having an OP1 field, because I'm going to get to that in a second, having an OP1 field which would connect to these over Bluetooth and playing my choir of Teenage Engineering Choir. Is that what it is? Yeah, it is Teenage Engineering Choir. We should know. It's going to be in the title of today's podcast. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me, Emlyn in the mix, Emlyn from Emlyn Mix, introduce the Teenage Engineering Choir. So here we are. If you are watching us on YouTube or Spotify, you can see you've got 8 wooden dolls. So what you see are 8 wooden dolls made to separate you with a repertoire of choral classics, as well as perform your own original compositions through MIDI over Bluetooth. Each member has their own characteristic vocal range, which hopefully I'll be able to show you. I think I can here. Individually, one can sing a dynamic solo. Together, they perform an immersive a cappella concert. And the choir is inspired by the original Absolute Choir, our very first project. Now, I'm not aware of that. So this is something Teenage Engineering has done in the past. So there's a full video here, which we're not going to play back, which you can head over to teenage.engineering to check out the full video. But the idea that it connects to your OP1 field is freaking amazing. So behind the curtain, the pre-programmed repertoire of classic songs have been created and performed using an algorithm based on a counterpoint melody, a compositional technique that refers to the independent but complementary relationship between 2 or more lines of melodies played at the same time. So somehow if you can connect them all together, which is incredible. So you can tap, tilt, or smack. Now, by the way, these things are not small too. Like, check out, there's someone's hand there. They're actually decent size dolls. can you believe it, doll? We're going to be, those of you who are absolute teenage engineering fanatics are going to have these dolls in your studio, I'm sure. So to get the choir started, they need a helping hand. A sensor inside the speaker module reacts to vibration and movement, so controlling choir is a playful experience in itself. Gently tap the doll on its head or on the table to trigger play or pause, or tilt the doll left or right to decrease or increase the volume accordingly. I didn't read that before the podcast. That is interesting. You can actually turn it down by tilting it or turn it up by tilting it the other way. If it gets annoying, it can handle a little smack to turn it off. Typical teenage engineering humor here. And you can see that it's tilting it to turn it down or gently tap it to turn it on. All right, so here we can do a little demo so you can hear these things. I love this sound because it reminds me of old school, vocoders or Daft Punk or that sort of thing. So let us present the ensemble. Based on cultures and characteristics from across the world, every doll is unique and has its own vocal tonality. And while each is given their own voice type, a single doll can customize their vocal range to sing a dynamic solo performance. And when more than one member of the choir are placed together in any combination, they communicate with each other and recognize the choral members in range, joining in a full choral experience. So let's play back the whole choir so you can hear how they all sound. Here we go. I'm just going to click on them. This is all of them together. How good is it? I love it. Alright, we'll listen to the individual ones. Okay, so this is Carlo. I would jump over to Gisela. So Gisela's a higher pitched sounding. Bogdan. Okay, lower. It's got a lower voice. Sheeput. Okay, it's more of a higher vocal. Alright, Ivana. Here's Ivana. Ivana's sort of in the middle. I think our demo's finished. Let's start up again. Let's go. Alright, we've got to play it again. Hang on. So let's listen to Ivana here. That's Ivana there. So they all sound similar. You just got different vocal ranges, basically. That's Ivana. That's all of them. Let's go to Mickey. Mickey and Ivana sound the same. Olga. Olga. That's Olga. And lastly, Layla. I'd have panned them. Anyway, I don't. You guys are probably trying to destroy the podcast. Make it stop. Is this something that's gonna just drive you crazy? Maybe that song's driving you crazy. I just love the sound. I think it's got a real bit of character. It doesn't sound like real quiet. It just have that electronic vocodery sound. Now, this is when things we're going to go into the craziness here. Look, I love teenage engineering, what they do. And if anything, they fully deserve Innovation Award of the Year. They've just come up with some of the most innovative things. Not sure about the beer. The beer was funny, but I don't know how that falls into the category of music production. But nonetheless, it was an interesting thing that they dipped their toes in, and nothing could surprise me that teenage engineering does. But basically, that was the full repertoire there. Now, this is where things are going to get amazingly interesting. I don't know if this is even going to blow up on the internet, but just quickly before we get to the price of these things, each doll is handcrafted from solid beech and individually polished with hard wax oil, and the speaker modules inside are removable as well as rechargeable. And at the center of each doll is a magical speaker module, which also functions as the CPU and Bluetooth transmitter, rechargeable with up to 4 hours of performance time. So I don't know, is this something for you? I mean, wait, there's more. So your OP1 field just got a life-changing, truly unique upgrade. So this is what they're touting here. Choirs MIDI compatible is where the magic really happens. Conduct your choir with OP1 field, OPZ, or any MIDI keyboard with Bluetooth connectivity, or connect an ortho remote for wireless control. Connecting one doll pairs the whole choir instantly, singing the notes in your composition. So if you have like 4 of these dolls or 5 of them, they'll just all connect up together. And as with any live performance, each set will be a one-of-a-kind experience with standing ovations. So that's kind of cool. I mean, if you have, you have dollars to splash around, you can get yourself an OP1 field and then grab a couple of these dolls. But come down here, let's check this out. So each doll is $250 US. Yes, $250 US. Now, there should be no surprise being that it's Teenage Engineering and that is the price. But think about this, there's 8 of these dolls. Say you wanted to collect them all. You say you're a crazy fanatic for Teenage Engineering. You're going to be whopping out a whopping $2,000 to get this ensemble. Now, do you need to get that ensemble? When I showed you that demo back there's not a huge difference between the dolls. If I was going to get these, I'd probably just go for a medium, a low, and a high. And there was a couple of lows and highs there. Maybe only 4 dolls is all you need. I have to say, I do love some of the designs of these dolls. I think they look freaking awesome. I love they're made out of wood. I like anything wood. Aesthetically, amazing stuff. But are you going to spend $250 on what is essentially a speaker and a little sort of sampled instrument that connects over Bluetooth? It is an interesting, let's at least say that it's a very interesting concept. And I know that there are going to be people out there that are going to get their hands on this. I don't know. For me, I have to say aesthetically, these are cool. And to have these in the studio would be interesting, but would you use them in your music? That's another story. And at $250 each, I'm sure there are a lot of people tapping out at this point that are like, nah, man, you Teenage Engineering, what are you doing to us? Do they make a Teenage Engineering? Are they just off the beaten track? Do you think that they are catering to musicians like you and me, or is this just something so innovative that it's only needed by a niche few? I don't know. Put your comments in the comment section down below. I want to know what your feedback is on these Teenage Engineering choir as they're touted. What is my opinion though? Are you interested in that? My opinion is, it's weird, but I know this is something I don't need, but and this is what Teenage Engineering essentially does. They're kind of like the Apple of the music technology world. It's not really something I need, but it is something I sort of desire, I guess. I want to try it. I want to see what it looks like. I want to listen to it. And I don't know why, but after I saw this getting released, I just had the idea of how cool would it be. And I think I said this at the start of when we looked at these. If I had 8 of these spatially placed around in a room, like not, together in one lump, but surround sound sort of, and I had a Bluetooth control. It doesn't have to be the OP1 field, although I would like to have an OP1 field, and I played that and they were playing around me. I mean, I don't know, that sounds to me very interesting and very cool. But what are your thoughts? I want to know what you guys think about it. That is it for today's podcast. What is going on this year? Nothing could surprise us anymore, could it? Is there going to be any more releases now? We've got 5 more episodes to go before the end of the year. And we'll have a surprise announcement towards the end of the year. We'll do a wrap up, but we'll be looking at cyber season, cyber deals as we get towards the end of this month, in particular, November for 2022. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Please leave your comments in the comment section down below. Don't forget the affiliate links down below for Baby Audio, affiliate link for Native Instruments down below. Are you going to check out these UVI 50% off the iOS, iPad apps? Are you going to check out Spark now that they've added a couple of cool new products into their thing? I know that the Polymax sounded amazing. That was the most impressive thing for me on today's podcast. Check out Native Instruments and iZotope's Cyber Season deals. Link down below. Are you going to get the free plugin? I mean, come on, Audiolens, check it out if you need an easy to use reference plugin. Auto-Tune Pro Max, what do you think? I have my doubts on this. I think this just looks like an upgrade to Auto-Tune, not an actual new piece of software. What do you think of that Bluetooth pedal? That looked pretty cool. And is the H90 harmonizer, is this something you need, want? Is it worth the price tag? It's actually coming up here as $899, so I had the price wrong. Great. $899, I said $700. It's actually more than what I said. But anyway, is this something you need? Is that Aussie dollars? Is it US dollars? Who knows? You're on Emlyn in the Mix. Or is the Teenage Engineering, is this thing here, the choir, what is this? Is this innovative or is this stupid? I want your opinion. Thank you so much for joining, guys. We'll be back next week for an incredible and interesting podcast, as we always do. You guys are amazing. Peace out. Till then, of course, peace out. Boom. Hey, thanks for listening to the Emlyn in the Mix podcast. Here you will find all the latest in music technology, software and hardware, interviews, and more. Also, don't forget to check out the Emlyn in the Mix YouTube channel today. Till next time, keep it real.